Good evening. It is now 6:03 p.m. on January 22nd, 2018, and it's time to call this public hearing regular called meeting of the Board of Trustees of San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District to order. Ms. Haynes, would you call roll, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chavita?
Here.
Mr. Mesa?
Here.
Mrs. Martinez-Lozano? Mr. Overfelt?
Present.
Mrs. Gonzalez? Here. And Mr. Smith?
Present.
Myself.
Thank you, Ms. Haynes. We have a quorum.
Yes, sir.
Let the record show that a quorum of the board members are present and this meeting has been duly called, and notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551. At this time, if you would please stand for opening ceremonies, first with a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, we also recognize with a moment of silence the late Oscar San Miguel. Mr. San Miguel served as a trustee for 9 years. He was sworn in April 10th, 1972, served as board secretary for 9 years. Mr. San Miguel served as board vice president from 1979 until his term expired March 16th, 1981.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. I want to welcome everyone again to the meeting this evening, especially all the students and parents that have shown up for the different events that are going to be recognized this evening there for band and some other thing, Teacher of the Month, additional teacher certifications there. We appreciate y'all coming out. I always like seeing the auditorium full there, especially with the students that we serve. So to begin with tonight, we're going to start with a fine arts recognition and their saxophone quartet presentation. Mr. Ricardo Rios.
Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Rios, teachers, administrators, and parents and guests. We're going to be having a short presentation. This is one of we have a solo and ensemble contest that's coming up in next month. And we work on different small group settings. So tonight we're going to be featuring a sax quartet made up of Kezia Magadan, Rayana Garcia, Claire Rivera, and Oscar Guerra. Thank you. And next, we're going to be having a recognition from our orchestra department. And I'll have Mrs. Aura Trevino come up and recognize her students.
Good evening, everyone, members of the board, all the teachers and students present tonight. I'd like to say that my name is Aura Trevino, the orchestra director of our district secondary level. With me tonight is Mr. Timothy Garza, who is the string teacher in charge of the elementary level. We are very proud to be here presenting these extraordinary students who, throughout the year, work hard to be able to achieve their goals in all the competitions that we present during the year. With us this year, the orchestra department expanded their numbers, which is great news for everybody. We got 9 students, 8 of them are present tonight. For the first time, San Felipe Memorial Middle School was presented in a competition at the level of Region 11 TMEA, and the students that made it to orchestra were the 3 that participated. We are very proud today to mention that Andrea Davis, violin player, there she is. Curtis Freedom and Dorothy Cedillo. Very, very, very proud of the 3 of them. Curtis Freedom especially, he did get a second chair in the orchestra, which is remarkable, being the first time that he goes to a competition. From the Rio Middle School, we have Devin Garcia, who plays the cello, 8th grader. We have Melba Hunt, who is also a 6th grader. She plays the violin. And Itzel Hernandez, who is not here today. Very, very proud of also of these 3 students who did really very well. They placed very high in the orchestra. Very nice, good job, boys and girls. From the Rio High School, I have the pleasure to mention first from 10th grade, Matthew Cedillo, who is the bass player, and Akasha Flores, who plays the violin, and Elena Hernandez, who also plays the violin. So congratulations to all of them. Thank you very much for being here. We are very proud of you. Please keep the hard work. Always shoot for the star. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Trevino and Mr. Garza, for your help with our orchestra students. Next, we're going to be bringing up our choir students. And I'll turn it over to choir teacher, Mrs. Stacy Gallegos.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As Mr. Rios says, my name is Stacy Gallegos, and I am the choir teacher at Del Rio Middle School and San Felipe Memorial. I know there's a lot of presentations, so I'll make this short and sweet. Last year at this time, we presented 4 students who made it to the Region 11 Honor Choir. This year, we had 12 make it. Of those 12, 5 were able to make it tonight. We had 1 student, the first one to my left, Rudy Perez. He made 2nd chair tenor. To his left, Larissa Rodriguez. She is 7th grade. She was a soprano. To her left, Mindy Sanchez, 8th grade. She was one of our very strong altos. To her left, Alexis De Leon, 7th grade. She was another alto. And finally, Nadia Cáceres, 7th grade. She was one of our sopranos. We were very excited that all 12 of these students made it. They went on November 10th and 11th, Veterans Day weekend, so it was a big thing. They gave up a lot to go to this competition, and they did a really good job. So thank you very much.
And thank you, Mrs. Gallegos. Again, that's from our choir department. Next, we're going to bring up band students. Band students from Del Rio High School. And these students made the all-region band TMEA competition back in first week of December. And we have Victor Carrillo, trumpet. Carla Casillas on trumpet. Alejandro Ruiz, also on trumpet. Frankie Trevino, French horn. Oscar Guerra, saxophone. Zoe Pagan, clarinet. And actually, let me jump over here to Roman Lomas. He's on baritone. And these students that I just mentioned, they actually advanced to area competition. And so I just wanted to... So congratulations to them for having represented Del Rio in area competition. And we also have on flute, Joshua Corona. On clarinet, Angela Rivas. And we have also a young man over here that represented Del Rio in the All-American Macy's Parade for the Thanksgiving break. And while I was watching TV, I was looking for him. And he was the lone representative this year for Del Rio. So congratulations, Ryan, for... He had to submit a recording and actually audition in order for him to be selected. And so fortunately, he was one of the few members from around the country that was selected to be a part of the Macy's Band Parade. So if I could have another big round of applause for all of our band members. And picture. Squeeze in.
I'll squeeze in.
We want to thank our administration and everyone that helps in allowing for these programs to flourish, from our fine arts, our orchestra department, our choir department, and also our band department. Our kids have done an outstanding job all year long, and will continue to produce great results. So thank you very much for your support of the fine arts program.
Thank you, Mr. Rios, and as always, amazing accomplishments coming out of the fine arts department within the school district. This takes us on to B, school board recognition. We have a lot of schools here to do presentations, so we'll get started with how it is on the list. First up, Irene Cardwell Elementary.
Good evening, President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. Tonight we are here to celebrate you in honor of School Board Appreciation Month. Here's a poem in honor of you tonight. The School Volunteer, the author is unknown. A school is more than books and desks and learning 2+2. It's people who share their skills and care and try their best in all they do. Please accept our heartfelt appreciation. Our school's a better place because of your dedication. Education is the most powerful weapon for changing the world. Our school board helps our kids soar to success and dedicates their hearts towards San Felipe del Rio CISD in honor of our children. On behalf of our Irene Cardwell Pre-K Head Start family, parents, students, and our staff, we would like to present these gifts in appreciation of your commitment. Thank you.
Thank you. Buena Vista Elementary.
Hello, Mr. Rios and Mr. Overfelt and members of the board. My name's Abram Ortiz, and I'm the Buena Vista Student Council president. And joining me, and that are going to give you after your presence, I guess, will be some other representatives from our school. Okay. But today I'll be reading you a poem. The name of the poem is Because of You, written by Heather Price. Because of you, a child will feel loved. Because of you, a child will believe they can reach the stars above. Because of you, a child will find laughter and smiles. Because of you, a child will feel worthwhile. Because of you, a child will learn to love and not fight. Because of you, a child will want to read every night. Because of you, a child will learn patience when someone is driving them crazy. Because of you, a child will learn the value of work and not be lazy. Because of you, a child will learn persistence when the going gets rough. Because of you, a child will learn the gift of kind words and love is enough. Because of you, a child will find comfort in loving arms. Because of you, a child will be safe from words and hands that harm. Because of you, a child will learn as they play. Because of you, a child will make a difference along life's way. Because of you, a child will make Because of you, a child's life will forever be touched in ways you may never see. Because of you, God uses you to help them become the person He wants them to be. Thank you.
I was going to say, I hope Mr. Ortiz runs for class president when he's senior. He may have a job in politics also. Good job. Next up, we have Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary.
Good afternoon, Board President, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. I, Adan Villarreal, President of our Student Council at Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary, along with our principals, staff, and entire student body, would like to thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Because of each and every one of you, our school is truly a place of excellence where all of us have a chance to make a difference. All of your efforts are truly appreciated. Thank you for all you do.
Reuben Chavita Elementary.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Mia Dulcebre Galindo, and I am the Student Council President of Reuben Chavita Elementary. And today with me here, I have Layla Katz, the Vice President. Members of the board, on behalf of RCE Student Council, faculty, staff, and student body, we thank you for serving our district and its students. Thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, wait a minute. File a complaint here.
Thank you. Dr. Lonnie, Green Elementary.
Good evening. My name is Andrea Montalano. At Dr. Lonnie Green Elementary, our vision is to learn, love, and lead together. We are striving for excellence. We also know that it takes a team to help every one of us be successful. We would like to thank you, the board members, for working hard together to help our schools grow and be the best they can be. Your example helps show students, staff, parents, and the community how important teamwork is. On behalf of Dr. Lonnie Green Elementary, we present this gift to you for all of your great teamwork for our district.
Thank you. Lamar Elementary.
Good evening. My name is Eva Casillas. I am Lamar Elementary Student Council Treasurer. Every day in school, we are faced with new challenges and expectations to meet. Because of great leaders like you, we are able to soar to new heights and accomplish our goals. On behalf of the Lamar Elementary Student Council, we would like to take this opportunity to show our gratitude and appreciation to our school board president, Mr. Overfelt, our vice president, Ms. Martinez Lozano, our secretary, Ms. Haynes, our board members, Mr. Smith, Mr. Mesa, Ms. Gonzalez, Mr. Chavita, and our superintendent, Dr. Rios, for helping the students of Del Rio soar in education. Thank you for all that you do.
Garfield Elementary.
Good evening, school board members, Dr. Rios, parents, teachers, and other guests. On behalf of all Garfield Elementary, we would like to thank our school board for all you do for the students across the district. Because of you, we are able to go to school every day and learn from qualified teachers. Because of you, we are able to achieve our goals. If it wasn't for our wonderful school board members, our students won't be able to accomplish all great things we do on a daily basis, as well as throughout the year. Sometimes you have to make the tough decisions that aren't always popular, but deep down we know that every decision you make is for the good of our schools and our students. To quote Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. You, the school board, help us to be that change. Thank you again, and we hope you enjoy this token of our appreciation.
Thank you. North Heights Elementary.
Hi, good evening. My name is Andrea Fernandez, North Heights Elementary Student Council Secretary. We are thanking you with a poem today. T is for the time you spend making the best decisions for us. H, helping our district succeed. A, always thinking of us kids first. N, never giving up on us. K, keep fighting for our schools. Y, y'all are awesome. O, outstanding work you do. U, understanding our needs. On behalf of North Heights Elementary, we want to say thank you for being the leaders of the best district in Texas. Thank you.
Okay, before you run off, North Heights, before you run off, you have a birthday girl. I want the audience to say happy birthday. Say happy birthday. Oh, and one tomorrow, too. Happy birthdays.
Happy birthday, North
Thank you. Next up, we have San Felipe Memorial Middle School.
Good evening, Dr. Rios and members of school board. My name is Jalen Medina, Student Council President. On behalf of San Felipe Memorial Middle School, we would like to thank you for your dedication and commitment in seeking the best interest of every student, teacher, and all staff working for San Felipe del Rio CISD. It is our greatest hope that you continue to strive for excellence, and we thank you for your continued leadership in our schools. Thank you.
Del Rio Middle School.
Good evening, Dr. Rios, Mr. Overfelt, School Board Trustees. I am Adriana Palacios, Del Rio Middle School Student Council President, and I'm pleased to be here this evening representing our student body. Throughout our educational career, we're often told to soar towards success, reach for the stars, believe, and make the impossible possible. Perhaps we are told these things for just motivational purposes, but I believe that the main reason is so that we can always remember that we are capable of accomplishing anything we set our minds to. Living in Del Rio, we're given the opportunity through various programs that are implemented in our district to truly be able to fly. At Del Rio Middle School, we are introduced to an array of pathways that we can take upon becoming high school students that will lead us toward a successful future. We're constantly motivated to dream big and believe that we can be anything we want to be. Because of your approval to these programs, the kids of SFDR CISD are able to do this. On behalf of Del Rio Middle School Student Council, student body, administrators, and staff, I thank you for your continued support and dedication toward helping us soar to success. I believe Dr. Seuss said it best when he said, "Oh, the places we'll go." Thank you.
Del Rio Freshman.
Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Rios. My name is Emily Diaz, and I am president of the class of 2021. Del Rio Freshman School would like to take this opportunity to thank you for the time and dedication you put into ensuring our school district is a successful one. Thank you for the time away from your family. Thank you for the late nights and early mornings. Thank you for always having our best interest at heart when making tough decisions. Thank you for helping us soar above the clouds and helping us reach our full potential. Thank you.
Thank you for being on student council. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you, sir.
Early College High School.
Good evening, President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. Early College High School is here this evening to honor you for all the hard work that you do on behalf of Del Rio students. As ECHS students, we have pledged to uphold values that ensure academic success. These values include diligence, perseverance, commitment, and a priority to maintain focus on all our school endeavors. We will work tirelessly to reach the ultimate goal of obtaining a high school diploma and up to 60 college credit hours from Southwest Texas Junior College, and thereafter relentlessly pursue a rigorous course of study to obtain a bachelor's degree from a four-year university by the year of 2021. We, the class of 2019, are better known as the first cohort of Del Rio's Early College High School, accept this challenge, and we promise to reach this level of academic excellence with the continued support of our school board, administrators, counselors, teachers, family, and community. The following students are all first-generation college students. My name is Aaron Escoto, and I currently maintain a 4.0 GPA in my college curriculum, and I sit comfortably on 46 college hours in my junior year of high school.
Hello, my name is Ismael Rodriguez, and I currently have 47 college hours with a 3.8 GPA.
Hello, my name is Mariana de Hoyos, and I have 48 college hours with a 4.0 GPA.
Hello, my name is Ronaldo Sanchez. I currently have 31 hours with a 3.1 GPA.
I'm Sam Pippin. I've earned 25 credit hours with a 4.0 GPA.
Hello, my name is Karina Palacios. I have earned 36 college hours and I have a 3.7 GPA.
Hello, my name is Karina Delgado. I have a total of 40 college hours and a GPA of 4.0.
Hello, my name is Andrew Cunha. I'm a first-generation college student. I have a total college hours of 15 college hours, and I have accumulated 3.0 GPA.
As a token of our appreciation, please accept our challenge coin as a symbol and constant reminder of the impact you are all making in our small but empowered community every day. Thank you.
Next up, we have Blended Academy.
Good evening, I'm Jennifer Elias. I'm here with right here, representing Blended Academy. Dr. Rios, President Overfell, and board members. We, Blended Academy, would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all the support you have given us. Without your support, many of us would not have a second opportunity to succeed. The greatest gift we can give our children is a good education, is a quote used by President Josh Overfield. Overfield. I can say that Blended Academy has good education. Giving us good education inside and out of school. We know that this is not possible without the genuine support from each one of you. With that said, we had made some co-stars that blended colors used represent us standing united thanks to all the support from you. The king chains were personally made one chain leather because we know your love from us as genuine, and the mug is a plus. Thank you for all allowing us to be us and believing that every child deserves a good education.
Del Rio High School.
Good evening, members of the school board and Dr. Rios. I am here with my fellow classmates to thank you for your unfailing commitment to the success of the San Felipe Del Rio CISD students. The national theme for School Board Appreciation is helping kids soar to success. Our gift this evening consists of a hot air balloon. The balloon represents education, and you represent the fire that guides and fuels students to new heights and helps us, the students of San Felipe Del Rio CISD, not only reach new heights, but soar. Dr. Seuss says it best with the following excerpt. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. And oh, the places you will go. My name is Taylor Gomez. I am the president of Student Council. In my 3 years at DRHS, we have doubled the number of projects that involve the community and student body to promote unity, spirit, and school pride. In the fall, I will be attending Texas A&M University in College Station and majoring in interdisciplinary studies. Thank you for helping me soar.
My name is Brianna Marufo, and I'm the National Technical Honor Society president at the high school. And in my 3 years at DRHS, our percentage of members has increased by 50. In the fall, I'll be attending the University of Texas at El Paso, majoring in communications. Thank you for helping me soar.
I'm a little bit taller than everybody. Hi, my name is Max Smith. I'm the leader of the boys cross country team at the high school. In my 3 years at Del Rio High School, I've been on the teams that have gone to the state meet and competed and represented Del Rio. In the fall, I will be either running at Loyola Marymount in Los Angeles, University of Texas in Austin, or Ole Miss, and majoring in business and minoring in sports management. Thank you for helping me soar.
My name is Valeria de la Garza. I am the president of Future Business Leaders of America. In my 3 years at DRHS, we have won awards at the state level and have advanced to compete at the national level. In the fall, I will be attending the University of Texas in Austin and majoring in biology. Thank you for helping me soar.
My name is Daddy de Blasi. I am the president of the National Honor Society and current valedictorian. In my 3 years at Del Rio High School, our members have been able to maintain their 3.2 GPA in order to retain membership. In the fall, I will be attending Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio, and majoring in microbiology. Thank you for helping me soar.
My name is Rudy Rodriguez. I am the president of Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. In my 3 years at DRHS, we have consistently increased the number of participants to compete in the national level. In the fall, I will be attending Angelo State University and will be majoring in psychology. Thank you for helping me soar.
My name is Jordan Shell. I am president of the varsity choir. In my 3 years at DRHS, we have increased the number of performances, including musical theater, and produced more talents. In the fall, I will be attending Texas State University and majoring in music education. Thank you for helping me soar.
Members of the school board, please know that your hard work has paid off. You see, my classmates and I are leaving this district knowing that we are off to great places. Today is our day. Our mountain is waiting, so we are on our way.
Texas State Teachers Association.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Rios. The local Texas State Teachers Association, TSTA, would like to take this time to present you all with a small token of our appreciation to recognize your service to the students and educators of the San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District. Your service, your vision, and dedication will help ensure a promising future filled with endless opportunities. Thank you.
I'm sure I speak for everyone sitting up here, to the schools and the students and the staff who worked on all of these very, very cool gifts and tokens of appreciation. Thank you so very, very much. Y'all are the true reason that all of us sit up here, is to make sure that you get everything you need and the education that you need. So we thank you so very, very much. That takes us into C, recognition of Campus Teacher of the Month for December 2017. Ms. Garcia.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Overfeld, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. We have the Teacher of the Month is a program designed to spotlight the most dedicated and talented teachers in our district. And with us today, we have our principals who will recognize their Campus Teacher of the Month and let us know what sets these teachers apart as an outstanding educator. So without further ado, we have our campus principals.
Good evening, President Overfeld, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. It is my distinct pleasure to announce that Del Rio High School has selected Mr. Wilbur Rivas, one of our math teachers, as Teacher of the Month. I just want to say that Mr. Rivas, the second time that we got to work together, he came up to me and said, "What can we do for our students?" And that was amazing. He's a smooth operator, a man of few words, but it's like the saying goes, actions speak louder than words. Mr. Rivas, you are definitely a member of the team at Del Rio High School that looks out for our students. I want to thank you for helping our students day in, day out. After school, this man is helping our students. Saturdays, he's up in the morning helping our students. It's just amazing to see the heart that goes out in his work. And he also is our coach for soccer. So I know he has a game against Odessa, so don't make me take all these words back. He's doing an excellent job. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Rios. This evening, I'm here to introduce December Blended Academy Teacher of the Month, Mrs. Sarah Moreno. The first thing you should know is that Ms. Moreno has a gentle, firm tone about her. When she addresses a room, she does not raise her voice or change her tone, yet she commands the attention of her entire class. Being a first-year teacher has worked to Sarah's advantage. She possesses an undying enthusiasm and is diligent in preparing her content. If you walk into her classroom, you will feel three things. You will see and feel three things happening: structure, learning, and enthusiasm. Sarah was one of the first teachers in our campus to order the Marcia Tate book series, and she applies it daily. In her 90-minute teaching block, you will see anywhere from 4 to 5 transitions take place. She often changes her ability grouping to focus on a specific skill, and there is always bell-to-bell instruction. Aside from being an amazing instructional leader in her classroom, Ms. Moreno always possesses the ability to build true and meaningful relationships with our students. She is able to recognize strengths and build on them to maximize achievement. She is also able to read those nonverbal cues and use them to provide necessary interventions to help make our students successful. Thank you, Ms. Moreno, for combining your heart and skill set to create meaningful learning for our Blended Academy students. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. We are here tonight to honor Early College High School's Teacher of the Month for December, and that is Mrs. Rebecca Ortiz. Mrs. Ortiz is one of the originals that started with Early College High School in 2015. She is definitely a beacon of shining light for her students, our team, her department, and for the district. She is professional. She is extremely organized and a stickler for high expectations and quality work. She does not skip a beat in that classroom. She utilizes every single instructional second that she has to empower her students with her scientific knowledge. We are also very proud to announce that she has also begun her master's program towards, or a second master's program with Texas A&M Commerce, so that she can become part of our adjunct faculty for Southwest Texas Junior College. In the future, we hope to see her in our college biology, our anatomy, and anything else that we can utilize her for. So we are excited beyond words of what awaits our students in the coming years. Congratulations to our shining star for the month of December.
It is my honor to recognize Mr. David Velke as San Felipe Memorial Middle School's Teacher of the Month. He is new to our district. He has 26 years of experience, 10 years in the classroom, and 16 years in administration. Mr. Velke has been a huge asset at San Felipe Memorial Middle School because of his wide array of experiences as a teacher and administrator. He was hired in August of 2017 and almost immediately agreed to accept the role as department head for science. He asked a lot of questions so that he can best support his team about planning protocol, lesson plans, dashboard, science materials, budget, duty, as well as leadership. He is on the sheltered instruction team and works with our ELLs that are beginners and intermediate. A few months ago, he volunteered to start coaching UIL number sense after we had a resignation. He is always professional and has a positive outlook on every situation. He truly wants to know how to be the best teacher and how to help his peers meet the needs of all of their students. He also offers friendly advice and/or suggestions to help Mrs. Sagoon and I be better listeners and also to help improve our school culture. Congratulations, Mr. Velke, and thank you for helping San Felipe Memorial Middle School strive for double-digit gains this year in both reading and math.
Good evening, President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. It is my pleasure to introduce to you our Cardwell December Teacher of the Month, Mr. Donald Olivo. Mr. Olivo is also known as our Papa Cub. He is the heart and soul of our school. Mr. Olivo has dedicated the last 22 years to early childhood, never opting to transfer to another grade level or school due to his love for his students, families, and staff. Mr. Olivo is a loving husband to wife Cynthia and brother to sisters Julie and Dolores. Currently, Mr. Olivo is teaching 24-year-old bilingual students. His love of Head Start knowledge is impeccable, and even more amazing is his ability to share it with others. He has served as a teacher, interventionist, mentor, and educational coordinator during his tenure at Cardwell. To say that Mr. Olivo is dedicated is an understatement. He goes above and beyond for everyone he meets, even during his most difficult battles. As some of you may know, Mr. Olivo has battled cancer for several years, but this does not let him stop him. His love for teaching is evident as he comes to work every day with a smile and a positive attitude. His passion is contagious, and he is admired by all. We absolutely adore our gentle giant, and we look forward to many more years of him enriching and touching the lives of our early childhood children and families. Congratulations, Mr. Olivo. You deserve this award and so much more.
Good evening, Dr. Overfelt and Dr. Rios and members of the school board. This evening we have for you Juanita Gomez, representing Buena Vista Elementary, as our Teacher of the Month for the month of December. Ms. Gomez is an exceptional teacher who is dedicated to providing an exceptional education for all students. She takes pride in establishing a strong foundation in reading, using her knowledge of phonological awareness. She sets the bar high when it comes to Leader in Me by being firm, fair, and consistent. She expects the best from her students and is a great model for what a classroom should look and act like. She always assists us by volunteering her time to tutor students in other grades, especially in the areas of reading, and can be counted on to train others in TPRI. Ms. Gomez has been teaching for many years, and her passion is as strong today as the day she started. Ms. Gomez is dedicated, loyal, and steadfast. She can always be counted on to help our school shine. Thank you, Ms. Gomez, for continuing to keep the candle lit and inspiring others to work as hard as you do. You are a leader on our campus and are leaving a legacy each day. Thank you for dedicating your life to our future leaders. Thank you.
Good evening, Board President Overfield, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. For the month of December, DFC cast its spotlight on Mrs. Diana Jimenez. She is a third grade ELA teacher at our awesome school. When you enter her classroom, you see all the wonderful things that great teachers should do. What may that be? Let me take a few minutes to tell you what we are so privileged to see in her classroom. To start off, immediately you see her passion for children and educating them. A great teacher is passionate about teaching and working with children. She shows excitement about influencing student lives and understands the impact she has. We see an engaging personality with a teaching style that reaches different types of learners. Mrs. Jimenez builds her lessons with her different students in mind. She incorporates discussions, gallery walks, journal entries, and many other methods, so each and every one of her students feels confident about learning. You can see her bringing students to a small group when they need that extra push. There is a positive classroom culture with effective discipline skills that promote positive behaviors and mutual respect. She has a strong rapport with students in which she develops positive relationships and establishes trust. Last but not least, she has clear objectives and high expectations. She encourages all her students to work at their best level. Mrs. Jimenez definitely exhibits the characteristics of a great teacher, and that a student will remember and cherish forever. Teachers like Mrs. Jimenez have long-lasting impacts on the lives of students and inspire students towards greatness. Thank you, Mrs. Jimenez. You're a wonderful teacher, and we congratulate you. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Overfelt, Dr. Rios, and members of the school board. Tonight I present to you Ms. Idalia Castellanos. Mrs. Castellanos is a wonderful kindergarten teacher. She always makes sure that her students have exactly what they need. If you were to visit her classroom, you would see 15 students completely engaged in oral language activities. Mrs. Castellanos would be at the front of the classroom pulling items out of a bottomless basket, asking her students to talk about each one. She does more than just build their language proficiency and teach them the kindergarten curriculum. She creates opportunities for her students to shine. She worked with her students preparing them for a Thanksgiving program that they performed for a cafeteria full of visitors. She then got them stage ready for a Christmas program for our elementary principals meeting. She then took those students on tour to federal programs where students sang classic Christmas carols. Her students have really stolen the show. Thank you for all that you do for your students, Mrs. Castellanos. It is our honor to celebrate you as the December Teacher of the Month for Dr. Lonnie Greene.
Good evening, President Overfelt, board members, and Dr. Rios. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our December Teacher of the Month for Garfield Elementary, Ms. Myra Alvarado. Ms. Alvarado is our autism classroom teacher at Garfield. She has been an educator for 17 years, both in private and public schools, and Ms. Alvarado recently returned to Del Rio this school year after having the opportunity to teach for different districts within and outside of Texas. Ms. Alvarado has continued her education in administration, special education diagnostician, and is pursuing her doctorate in organizational leadership. Ms. Alvarado demonstrates on a daily basis the love for her students and chosen career. While Ms. Alvarado has one of the most physically and emotionally filled positions on our campus, you can always see her smiling, greeting her colleagues and students, and one can see she is authentically happy to be at work. Ms. Alvarado has established an awesome classroom and atmosphere for her students and is their biggest advocate. She goes above and beyond to make sure the time her students spend on campus is full of learning and engagement. Ms. Alvarado always demonstrates professionalism and takes great pride in her students and her campus. Whether it's by text message, email, or in person, Ms. Alvarado takes the time to be respectful and professional, even if her day has been anything but ordinary. And whenever her colleagues need assistance, she is the first to offer her time and her ideas on how to make a situation better for all. Ms. Alvarado is very knowledgeable in her specialty and has offered many ideas and suggestions to help improve our campus as a whole. Thank you, Ms. Alvarado, for all you do for our campus and especially for our most precious commodity, our students.
Good evening, Mr. Overfelt, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. I would like to introduce to you today our Teacher of the Month for Lamar Elementary, Ms. Sonia Sotelo. Ms. Sotelo is a role model at our campus and our dyslexia teacher. Her first role is a dyslexia teacher, but she takes on so many roles to ensure the success of all students at Lamar Elementary. Though she's focused on providing targeted intervention to our dyslexia and Tier 3 students, she is also well known for being an active participant in almost everything. Who are we kidding? She actually is involved in everything. Her role as a dyslexia teacher provides not just quality instruction to our students, but a nurturing, positive atmosphere to her students. When you walk in her classroom, her students are quick with manners. If you walk in, you will be greeted. Good morning, Mrs. Mercier. Welcome to our class. She volunteers for every school event and has just about 100% attendance. Ms. Sotelo always has the success of Lamar as her #1 priority. She absolutely works to ensure that she does everything she can to see to that. Congratulations, Mrs. Sotelo. You are Lamar Pride.
Good evening, Board President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. It is a great pleasure of mine to be introducing you to Mrs. Amaris Martinez Salinas. She is a 4th grade teacher at North Heights Elementary, and she is our December Teacher of the Month. Mrs. Salinas takes pride in her classroom as a 4th grade math teacher. Students are so accustomed to routines and procedures, but you would never notice just how much structure has been created intentionally by the teacher because kids are always engaged in learning. When you take the time to think about guided instruction, it's not always common practice to invite other teachers to see it unfold in a math classroom. But Mrs. Salinas is the exception to this common idea. You see, her math lessons revolve around guided instruction, math talks, and small group supports. Mrs. Salinas has created a classroom of thinkers. Students proudly step up and teach what they have learned, giving explanations of their thinking. And when they are wrong, which aren't we all sometimes, the students in room F121 don't waste time criticizing. They take the collaborative approach and respectfully step up to help. It truly is a sight to see, and we invite you to North Heights Elementary to see Mrs. Salinas and her students in action. North Heights is blessed to have you on our team, Mrs. Salinas. She truly is a teacher that teaches from the heart and teaches kids not just math, but what it means to be a true character at our campus. We are so proud of you.
Good evening, President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, and Board.
Tonight it is my happy privilege on behalf of Maria Correa and the Reuben Chavita school family to present to you Mrs. Berta Aguirre, kindergarten teacher, who has joyfully given 30 years of her life to the career of educating children. When you visit Reuben Chavita Elementary, it's easy to recognize her kindergarten class as they're walking down the hallway, sitting in the cafeteria, working in the classroom. The children are on task and happily following the procedures and the lessons in order to thrive as they do. Her structure and organization are among the best. Mrs. Aguirre's classroom is dynamic and children are gaining knowledge interactively on a daily basis. She has a talent for involving students in the learning process in a way that they don't realize they think they're just having fun. It's an everyday occurrence where she modifies lessons, instruction, and strategies in order to ensure success for all her students. Her prior experience in previous grade levels set the standard for a high level of expectation in her kindergarten class. Mrs. Aguirre is also very supportive of her colleagues and is recognized as a knowledgeable mentor by our new teachers on our campus. She's also helped us out by supporting us in UIL activities on the campus. It is with great pride that Reuben Chavita Elementary calls Berta Aguirre one of our own.
Good job, sir. Thank you.
So proud of you. Good job, man.
She's cheering you on. Thank you so much.
Next on the agenda under recognitions is D, recognition of teachers acquiring additional certifications. Ms. Garcia.
Yes, good evening, President Overfeld, Dr. Rios, members of the board. We want to take this opportunity to recognize some teachers that have gone over and above to get an additional certification. They took advantage of the EIP grant and worked very hard to achieve additional certification. So with us today, we have Elizabeth Guadalajara, bilingual education. Diana Jimenez, bilingual certification. There was a total of 19 teachers, only about 10 could join us today. Laura Garcia, master reading teacher. Deborah Luna, master reading teacher certification. Rosalinda Ramirez, master reading teacher certification. Kathy Lee Smith, master reading certification. Leticia Vasquez, master reading certification. Mr. James Millender, math 4 through 8 certification. Amanda Salas, secondary math certification. Earlier, okay. Carol Trisler, secondary science certification. The following have SAC certification, which is a Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. So these credentials give the teachers opportunity to teach dual credit at the early college high school. So we have Melinda Costilla, credentials for math. Wendy Hensey, credentials for English. She couldn't join us today. And Carla Pohl, biology credentials. Again, thank you very much for going over and above to get the additional certification. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, man. Good job. Good job. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Good job. Good job, man. Good job, sir. Good job, ma'am. Good job. Thank you. Good job.
Takes us to 5 citizens to be heard. No one this evening. Thank you. On to 6 public hearings. A, a 2016-2017 Texas Academic Performance Report, also known as TAPER, in accordance with Texas Education Code 39.306. Dr. Garza.
Thank you, Mr. Overfeld, Dr. Rios, members of the board. It is that time of the year where we present the TAPER report. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here and tell you what the actual TAPER report consists of. This is the old AEIS report that we used to have. This is how the state uses the state system accountability to evaluate accountability performances for every district. It also gives us the opportunity to show the public how every district is evaluated. The actual report the components of the report has 5 required components. One is the actual taper, which is the student data. It has the state, the region, the district, and the campus reports in that binder that you received this past Wednesday. It also has the district accreditation and has the campus performance objectives that were approved sometime during the year. It also has the information on violent or criminal incidents, campus discipline data, and it also has number 5, performance of previous year's graduates in their first year of college. In the binder, I'm just going to show you how it looks in the actual binder that you received this past Wednesday. That's it. That's the actual accountability that you received. What you see there is the state accountability. We have the state, the region, the district, and every campus in that binder. On the tab that shows student data, it has the STAR and EOC performance participation. It has the student attendance rate, the annual dropout rate, the graduation rate, the graduation diploma type, and it also has the advanced course, dual credit courses completion information, has the percentage of college and or career readiness graduate, has the AP, SAT, ACT results, and it also has the percentage of students enrolled in Texas institutions of higher education. In the district campus profile, it also includes count of student by grade, special populations, disability, mobility, class size, total staff, staff demographics, student enrollment by program, and teachers by program. It also requires 5 additional components. It has the district accreditation status. It has the district campus performance objectives. It has the information on violent or criminal incidents. And it also has a report of student enrollment and academic performance in Texas public higher education. And the additional information in the report and the binder, it has the school report cards, the campus comparisons, the accountability summary and distinctions, designations, history of district and campus accountability ratings, the college-bound information, and the HB5 community and student engagement reports. And it is required by the district that these reports are actually in our website, and it also requires a paper copy. And our paper copies are going to be at the Laughlin Air Force Base, the County Library, the City Hall, Chamber of Commerce, and at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I know that there's a lot of information in this binder. It is the way we take accountability, or we show the public how the district is accounted for. Are there any questions?
At this time, we'll take questions from the board before I open it to the public. Mr. Mesa?
Don't know where to start, but it's a big report. I take this very serious. There's a lot of work to be done when comparing, and I'm looking at approaches grade level or above in all areas, but I'll start with the positive notes. And again, Cindy Salas, Lonnie, Greene, and staff blew the roof off of the scores and student progress. And I'm glad that she was promoted. I hope we use that norm to promote other people. The secondary schools that did very well was high school, and that was under the internship of Dr. Perez and student progress. There were 3 schools actually at the upper end were compared, And I'm using the scale where there's the campus comparison group. There's 40 schools similar in demographics that we're kind of matched with. And so at the upper end, at the upper level was high school, Rio Middle School, and that we had different administration there, but I guess Mr. Limon started, and then we had Mr. Barrera. Lonnie, Greene, those were the three schools that really, under student progress, again, approaches grade level or above. I am concerned with, out of the 40 schools that we're compared to, we had Garfield 39th out of 40, North Heights 36 out of 40, San Felipe Middle School 35 out of 40, and they're all under student progress. Buena Vista 32 out of 40. Those are concerns. On the other side, in regard to the region and the state, we excelled in the end of course. Well, first of all, math, 6th grade, we scored 1 point higher than the region. End of course, U.S. history, we did better than the region. English 2, Algebra 1, there were only 4 areas that we did better than the region. So there's a lot of work to be done. But I think as you look through the report, there are other concerns, because the biggest one to me was the bilingual students. In every grade level, starting at 3rd grade, the district scored, let's say 3rd grade, 63%. Bilingual, 35. Math, this is reading, 3rd grade. Math, 3rd grade, 63%, our district. And these are all under approaches, grade level, or above. 63% in math, bilingual, 47%. Grade 4, reading, 63%, bilingual, 42%. Grade 4, math, 66%, bilingual, 50%. Writing, 54%, 4th grade. Bilingual, 34%, and it goes on and on. My concern is the bilingual group. When you look at grade 6, it's even worse, because reading, you have 60% district, bilingual 17%. Math, 74%, bilingual 56%. And I think all of us know that bilingual being elementary, ESL being secondary, but still the ELL group is my concern. In addition to that, I looked at the dropout rate, and it seems like it's from 2013, we went from 3.9%. 2014, we had a better year. Rather, we had a worse year, 4.9%. 2015, we had a better year, 3.3%. But then in 2016, we had 7.2% dropout rate. The attendance, and we'll look at that report again, it's been dwindling down every year. Starting with, and I really should go from grade level, but I don't want to take the whole time, but I'll just go from 9 to 12. 2014, we went from 94.1, attendance. We went from, I have attendance by state, by region, and by district. State went 95.8%, this region went 96%, we had 95%. But when you look at it, in regard to by year, we're going from a higher percentage to a lower percentage. And that's been the case this whole semester when you compare it. And it seems to be a concern. Like, We need to be alarmed with that because, again, it's secondary. There's too many students missing out. It seems to be, like okay that we're trending lower and lower every year, but that needs to be a concern that needs to be aired. And I'm concerned with attendance because, again, we seem to be, every year it seems like we do better in the fall semester, and then the spring is when we do worse. And now we're starting with low attendance, fall semester, and it's just going to get lower unless something's done about it. Those are my concerns in regard to that report. We do need to catch up with the region. Of grave concern is a bilingual group. And then again, in regard to, we're not meeting with the region in regard to, that's where I compare the state, the region, and then our district. So there are 4 areas that we excelled above the region, and those are mainly in the course. That's all.
Thank you, sir.
Any other comments or questions on the presentation this evening before I ask for public comments on it? Public questions, sir? Are there any public comments or questions as it relates to the 2016-2017 taper report? I hear none. Dr. Rios, do you have any comment on anything before I close it out?
Thank you, Mr. Overfelt, members of the board. Just briefly, I want to point out, first I want to agree with everything that Mr. Mesa pointed out, but I do want to add that the increases that he noted where we surpassed the region, if we look back historically in the district, there had been a long time since we had surpassed the region or even come close to the region in any of those areas. So there is significant progress being made in our classrooms, and we appreciate the work. Bilingual does continue to be a concern for our community, but I will indicate that this year we improved from a level 4 to a level 3 and showed significant improvement. So as low as the scores may seem, there was significant improvement made in the bilingual area. As far as attendance is concerned, last year was an improvement over the previous years. It has been a difficult first semester with the temperature and illnesses here. And at this point, I don't know how we compare to the rest of the state, but we have taken a hit this year. Unfortunately, the last 2 years that the attendance has gone down, don't want to point any fingers towards our legislators, but it was the state legislature that prevented us from taking students and parents to court for truancy, and instead mandated that we take the case study approach method. And even though taking students and parents to court for truancy didn't solve all of our problems, it did significantly impact students with excessive absences, and that has been a hindrance. And I hope that the legislature reconsiders that and gives us back that tool, because it did make a significant difference, at least to 1 to 2%. But we will continue to work on implementing the programs that we have and looking for new programs where we need. And we thank you for your time.
And then I will adjourn the public part of the hearing, and we'll go back into the meeting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Nothing under board members' report. That takes us to 8 reports. A, medical audit services report. Ms. Valdez.
Good evening, Mr. Overfelt, Dr. Rios, board members. RFP 18-09, the medical plan auditing services information,
was submitted, this included in the board update, and Ms. English is passing out a copy to everybody. Mr. Malik is here to present it. He is from Crystal Company. We contracted with Mr. Malik to provide us assistance in the preparation of the RFP, the review of the data, and the vendor selection process for an audit on our claims activity. So at this time, I'll introduce Mr. Malik.
That's okay. Good evening, board members, Dr. Rios. Just want to go quickly over this and kind of tell you what we were thinking in this whole process. And first off, kind of a little background to doing an audit, an actual medical audit. There hasn't been a full audit done on the program that's been in place since Blue Cross and Blue Shield and TML, the current vendor, have been in place. So right now, TML is your current vendor for paying claims, and they're using the United Healthcare claim system. So they've been in place for the last couple of years. And a couple of things that need to happen when you have a self-funded program is you have a fiduciary obligation as the plan sponsor, which is this district, to make sure that claims are being paid accurately and you're getting the best usage out of your dollars. And also it just makes good business sense to kind of check them every once in a while and make sure they're doing their job. So what happens with this district is we have 4 health plans, and so that makes it a little more complex, and so it might give you the impression that it's going to be harder to do, but it's just a little more complicated than a normal plan would be because you have 4 different ones to administer. So, and we're also spending, close to $10 million a year, and it's probably one of your larger budget items. So again, it just makes good business sense to go and check it out. So our objective in this is really to find a good independent firm that has a lot of experience with public entities and the United Healthcare claim system. Those are the really main parts of this. When we went out to look for different vendors, there was quite a few people that we went to, but we knew that we weren't going to get a large participation in it because we specifically asked for people who had experience in public entity business, specifically school districts and here in Texas, and ones that work with the United Healthcare claim system. So it kind of narrowed it down a little bit, but we knew who most of the vendors are already. So it was pretty easy to go through that part. And so the things that we're looking for in specific is, are they paying the claims by the plan documents that we have? So we have 4 plans. They have different deductibles and co-pays. And we want to make sure that they're paying them according to that plan document that we put together. And we also get PPO discounts from United Healthcare. TML uses or contracts with United Healthcare to provide discounts that help save money. And so we want to make sure that they're doing those accurately. We also want to make sure that everybody who's enrolled in the plan should be on the plan, employees and dependents. So they have to be an active employee full-time, and the dependents have to be eligible. So, and then the last part and the most important part is the claim paying accuracy. We want to make sure that they're paying the claims correctly. So those are the things that we look for. That's what we wanted to do when we went out and started looking for vendors. So in summary, we've got 2 spreadsheets that I've attached on there. One of them shows all the different vendors that we actually went to. There was about 15 of them. We identify these as people that would be interested and also that we've had experience with in the past that would actually do a medical audit of this size. Because this is a fairly large school district, so not every one of them is going to want to participate. And so out of that, we got 3 qualified bids. And out of those 3 bids, then we started a process of elimination, basically, to see what the best deal was going to be. And so again, the things that we were looking for were school audit firms that have worked with school districts, especially here in Texas, because we're a little more unique, and that they have really a good familiarity with the way the United Healthcare claim system works. And so what we're looking for from them is to make sure that they'll do the audit and they'll help us if there should be some collections, because we have a feeling that there probably will be. And then my recommendation on this is that we contract with Claim Technologies. I've worked with them in the past. In fact, I've worked with all of them. But they've done some really good jobs in terms of validating PPO discounts. That's a pretty important part of this, and with claim accuracy. And the other thing they have is they're a fairly large firm, so they have really good technology, good resources, and the things that I look for when I'm looking for an audit firm. The price seems to be in line. The price for this was right in line with all the rest of them. So I generally see this as kind of a standard price. And so one of the things that they also did was a little bit different is we were asking for a base audit, but they also offered a 100% audit. So if we decide that we find something that's really sticks out or some anomaly that we really want to concentrate on, they will really get into that. And they'll look at every single claim through that particular vendor, hospital, physician, clinic group. And so we have the option to do that. So we're just going to wait and see how it starts out and see if they give us, a direction to that, and then we can go back and ask for that. So it's an option. So that's what we're kind of looking at in this. The project is going to take about 4 months. What will happen during this process is early on, we'll probably get some good indications of where this thing is going. We'll try to report back as much as we can, because there will be times when there won't be that much to report. And then when we have something that's really definitive and we really need to bring it to you, we'll bring it back to the board and kind of let you know where this is going. So that's kind of it. We're going to monitor this thing from the beginning to the end, and we're going to also help with the collection. So if you have any questions, I'm open.
Any questions from the board, Mr. Mesa?
So claims technologies, their audit price was $25,950.
Correct. For the base audit.
Compared to Healthcare Horizons, $25,000.
Yeah, it's just they're very close and similar.
The 3 qualified bids, we don't have one for Sagebrush Solutions. It was the other group that was interviewed.
Right.
But they did not submit a cost.
They did, and it was at $32,000.
Okay.
If I may add, sir, Mr. Mesa, those documents are included under that consent item under RFPs, all the 3 responses.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of eliminated them early on because they're a little bit out of whack on the pricing. They're a West Coast firm. They're used to prices a little bit higher than what we're getting here in Texas.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Masano?
Just a question. What is the standard for auditing the vendors that administer claims for ourselves? Or what is the suggestion
Well,
and recommendation?
we call this a base audit. And a base audit will, first off, go after the largest claims and then kind of work their way down. And then as things pop up, then they shift the focus toward either a facility or a physician or a certain diagnosis code that might not be being correctly administered. And so that's kind of how it works in a base audit. You start, and you're looking at all the claims, but you may not look at every single one of them because, like some might not be worth looking at. They're such a small dollar amount that you would just, not want to do those. But this is what we call a base audit.
My question was really more, how often should the district that is self-funded perform such an audit?
It generally varies, but generally every 2 to 4 years is generally when it's done. And the reason I say that is because if sometimes you change vendors during that period of time, that might, might be a reason to go out a little bit earlier than you would normally do it. But if you've had the same vendor for a longer period of time, you won't do it as often.
All right. Do you know when we last performed an audit? I'm just curious.
Ms. Lozano, we initiated a claims audit process 2 years ago under Gallagher Group, and the information we obtained wasn't at the level that they could provide a final answer, and that's when we went to speak to an external consultant or independent consultant.
And we've been self-insured for how long? 10 years, 9 years?
It's more than 10 years, ma'am. Yes, more than 10 years.
And so the Gallagher Group 2 years ago, that was the first attempt, or?
And in my understanding, yes, ma'am. That would be the first attempt.
glad we're doing that. Thank you.
Mr. Chavita?
On Mr. Lopez, on prior audits, is it cost effective to spend $25,000 on the one that was done 2 years ago?
The one that was done 2 years ago, the document or the agreement read that when they initiated collections, they would keep 50% of what was collected.
50%?
Yes, 50%. However, we stopped that audit. It never finalized because we weren't receiving the information that we needed. And then that's when there was a decision that was made and a recommendation to seek an external consultant.
Okay.
Mr. Follow up, yes, sir.
Yeah, kind of, would you, on the consent agenda, what item is it? I can't find it.
It is 9C. 9C. I'm so sorry. It's RFP 18-09.
Or the corrected one?
Yes, sir.
Just 1 second.
Yes, sir.
On the one that you handed to us?
No, sir. The one that I handed to you, this is the information that was sent out over the weekend on the board update. Since it was electronic, I simply printed it out so that you could have it while the consultant is reviewing. The actual bid documents should be under 9C in the board packet. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'm
You're
sorry to
welcome,
hold up
sir.
the meeting.
No problem.
Sorry. There were 3 tabs with consent agenda.
Based on the recommendation that's coming or for consent there with this company being based in another state, do they have offices in the state of Texas?
Yes, they do it they'll be working out of San Antonio.
Okay.
So they do quite a bit of work here in Texas.
So it would be easy to get a hold of someone.
Oh yeah, I'll be monitoring all that. So I'm going to be. I mean, they're going to be working with me to make sure this gets done, and I'll be providing reports to the administration on a regular basis. And if we need, we'll come back.
Okay. Cool. Any other questions on this side of the table? No, sir. Okay. All right. Thank you. B, attendance and discipline report, third 6 weeks. Dr. Garza, as is standard, it has been sent to you in the board update. It was also in the packet that was distributed last week. Does any board member have any questions on anything out of attendance or discipline that Dr. Garza or administration could answer for us. Mr. Mesa, yes, sir.
I guess just the comment again. Elementary is doing fine. I think they always compete against each other, but it's mainly always secondary, and we go from the Rio Middle School to freshman to high school, and again, it's just getting lower and lower. And that's all. It's just a comment that we need to monitor closely and hopefully bring it up because, as I mentioned, the spring semesters when most students take advantage of the good weather and skip out. And so I am concerned with that. Okay. And when you look at the taper report, it has consistently gone down from previous years. So it was one good year, and then all the rest are just going down. So just to monitor that a little bit closer, and zoom in on making home visits or whatever needs to get done.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions about attendance and or discipline? Mr. Chavita?
Dr. Garza, in the past I've always stated that there's so many variables in the attendance. Are we, we get the reports up here and we see the absence, that it continues to go slow and sometimes it goes up and this type of thing. We need to start reaching our parents and as a whole, maybe put it out there whether we, conscious of the fact that it's going down. I mean, as a whole, just, either at the newspaper or Marquis or something, that they can be aware of it, that we're not doing so hard on and how it helps our school as far as being able to meet our, financial obligations, that type of thing. Make them aware, keep it in their, so that they can know and be, we once a month we come up here and we go over it, and every time we come up here we say, well, it's going low and this and that. But we really haven't done our job as far as reaching the parents, because those are the ones that are, of course, and the reason I'm saying is that secondary, especially at the high school, the kids that leave home, they might not go to the high school. Same way with some of the freshmen, they might have a car or something. So, I don't know. Let's try to reach them in some way.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
City Facilities and Construction Report. Mr. Kenge.
Good evening, President Overfeld, Dr. Rios, members of the board. Okay, tonight's facilities and construction update, we'll be looking at the status of new construction for Laughlin, the stadium bleacher project, early college high school asphalt, the service desk monthly report for technology, the service desk monthly report for maintenance, the sustainability plan campus painting project, campus repairs recently made to the high school library, and campus upgrades, including the playground installations that we've been working on. So, to start out with Laughlin, we do have the pads in place now. The cinder blocks have been poured in preparation for the delivery of the modular buildings, which is scheduled to take place the week of 2/12 through 2/22. Walkways, ramps, and utilities are currently on their way. And we've recently ordered on January 7th the electrical service equipment that we'll be needing for the property. As you can see in the pictures here, trenches are being dug at this point to be able to facilitate the utilities that will be going in out there. And then next, the Ram Stadium, the guest bleachers project that we're currently working on. We do have a line item tonight for approval on consent agenda items for the demolition and replacement of the bleacher section itself. In this picture here, you can see in between the two 25-yard lines, those would be the sections of bleachers that we'll be looking at replacing. So the end pieces themselves will not be replaced. They'll just be demoed out on the project. Here's some pictures to demonstrate the current condition of that area over there. We have replacement boards that have been put in over the years, as well as some additional fabrications that we've made in order to extend the life of the side of the bleachers. But at this point, it's not state compliant, so it's definitely posing a safety risk. The early college high school asphalt project took place over our holiday break. This picture here shows some of the soft spots that we ran into at the back part of the parking lot up there. And after consideration, we worked it out with the vendor to go ahead and get some concrete fill put in there and be able to take care of those soft spots at the time that the pavement was being laid. So that's an image of what it looks like, and as of today, we do have striping down. The parking lot will reopen tomorrow, so I believe at this point we do have some parking blocks that will go down at the back part of the property, at the back here, as well as the far back of the parking lot, just to keep vehicles so they don't go off the parking lot or up onto the sidewalks. The ticket reports for technology department for the month of December, total tickets that were created were 928, and total tickets that were completed for the month were 884. The breakdown on that is 25 projects, or we had 25 tickets allocated for projects, 19 for tickets that were in progress, and then the completed amount. And then taking a snapshot from October, November, December, we were able to identify roughly 44 tickets that are 30 days old, 109 tickets that are 60 days old, and 6 tickets that are currently 90 days old. And from here, we are going further into our reports to be able to identify exactly where those tickets are being held up and what we need to do to get that 90-day, ticket issue resolved. So there'll be more information coming on that in the upcoming months. Whereas on the maintenance side, on their ticket system, they've only actively been using the system for about 60 days. So that's why our report starts here from November through December. But for the month of December, they had over 375 tickets created. 317 of them were completed. The 30-day mark was 58 tickets, and 60-day mark was 74 tickets. This system is still being built out, so we don't have as many detailed tickets in here as what we have on the technology side. So we build it on technology. Once we're happy with that report, then we move it over into the maintenance side. So again, that area is going to be developed out over time as well. The painting project that we have currently in the district, exterior jobs have been completed at this point. So Reuben, Chavita is scheduled the week of June 11th for the interior paint, and then North Heights will follow up tentatively around July 16th for interior paint, and that will complete the district-wide painting project that we have this year. Del Rio High School library plumbing issues. Over the last week, we've been dealing with plumbing issues in the blue room that's located at the high school library. In short, a sewage line had broken that was running through the ceiling of that room, and as a result, we had a tremendous mess that ended up requiring us to shut the library down for a week so we could get everything cleaned, disinfected, and get it back in operational order. Most of the plumbing in there, as you can see in this picture, we have cast pipes and then boots that are connected to the PVC. One of those actually failed, and that's what caused the issue that we had. Now, as you can see in this photo here, we do have several pipes in alignment. That's the boys' bathroom located up behind the library. And this is one of our main renovations that we're looking at doing at the high school right now. I believe we're roughly between 30 and 60 days out from construction on that. An engineer was on site on Friday to take final measurements, so we should be getting some more information from the architect soon. But this area right here is definitely a big concern because of all the plumbing that runs through the ceiling. And obviously we want to be able to use that part. The library did open back up this morning, and tonight we are in the process of stripping and rebuffing the floor and doing the final cleaning on it at this point. But I was over there today and things were back up and operational. So again, it was a massive cleanup effort though. Playground installations, Calderon has been completed. This is the ending picture of that. Kids are out there using it now. This was some of that equipment that we purchased from Laughlin over a year ago, and we've refurbed it, and it's working really nice. This diagram here shows the next step, which is Rio Middle School, where we're looking at putting in a special ed playground with some of that additional equipment that we have yet. And then the final location that we'll be going to will be North Heights, but that's still in the design phase. Questions? I know we just went through a whole lot.
I'm sure there'll be a couple. I'll just start some very brief ones. Okay. Laughlin, we're still on target.
We are still on target. All the utilities were on target. The portables, I believe we're about a week behind on those, but nonetheless, with the way construction's going, we don't see anything jeopardizing that at this point.
When you said we ordered the electrical, those the big electrical panels and junction boxes and
right,
transformers.
The lead time's between 2 and 3 months, and that was one of the things that we've had issues with in the past. So we made sure we're on it this time.
Okay. At the stadium, you refer to them as legacy bleachers.
Yes.
Is that because of the history of where they came from, or we're just calling them legacy bleachers?
Not being from Del Rio, I don't want to speak too far out of turn, but some of the construction that was done there, the gentleman that did it, it was his last project before he's drafted to Vietnam. So I know those bleachers have been there for a while.
Okay. Yeah, they're what remains of Marcy Martin Field that was located back behind here from the original high school. They were moved over there after consolidation. So.
I see.
Okay, that's all I had on that. Anybody on this side, Mr. Smith?
A couple things. First of all, thank you for taking the time out of your weekend this weekend to go look at that stadium. That helps me.
Yes, sir.
Tonight. Your tracking tool, I like that. I'm encouraged by the differences in what I saw there. We'll see some more to come on that, and it'll give us some trends on how that stuff is getting closed out. How those action items are working. Can you give us an update real quick on that water main that was causing a big leak in the baseball field?
The sports field?
Yeah.
Yes, that has been corrected. We ended up bringing our internal plumbers, I believe it was, and it took some time, but they got through it. I didn't get it in this presentation. I wanted to get a few more pictures in, so I may be able to present that next month, but the leak is fixed.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
You want over here?
Yeah. With the issue at the high school library, was that thoroughly sanitized when it was completed?
Yes, we had our custodians. Our custodians were the first responders, and then we also called a local cleaning company to come in for several hours and clean it. And then we've taken everything out of there. Anything that came in contact with that has already been disposed of and categorized, disinfected from the top all the way, from the top of the shelves all the way down to the floor. I've even had all the ceiling tiles removed because when the engineer came on Friday, I wanted him to see what all this looks like so we can take that into account when we renovate the restroom. And that was very helpful. And then in doing that, we also found some more stuff that needed to be disposed of.
Okay.
So at this point, I feel confident that it's as clean as it's ever been.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Let me make one more comment, if you don't mind, sticking my head in here for a second on this. You're pretty nice about the bleachers. I mean, at the end of the day, there is, you know, as we get into the consent agenda and we talk about that, I'm just going to get it over with. Me looking at that early on, I'm thinking, yeah, those monies could be better spent somewhere inside the classrooms or somewhere like that. And I think you understated the safety concerns there after going and reviewing it. So anyway, just to kind of iterate that a little bit, I felt like initially those monies could have been spent better elsewhere, but there's significant safety issue there that we as a district need to address. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
Ms. Lozano?
Has anybody gotten sick following that?
Not that I'm aware of. We responded very, very quickly on it. We shut the library down immediately and relocated staff at that time, and then we addressed the issue. Essentially what happened was there was a stop up in the pipe, and it pressurized and it had to go somewhere. So that's what happened. And it took some time to get it unclogged, but we got through it.
And I also have a couple questions, Les, on the tickets.
Yes.
Your report, 60 days and longer, or a total of 109 the 3 months? Or is that what is current to date?
That's as close as we can get it currently to date. Mm-hmm. The system that we have in place now, which Mr. Smith has been challenging us to get some more granular reports. So we've been going through and doing this, and what we're finding is we have tickets going in for everything, but they're not always categorized. Is pending, open. I mean, closed, we can do that. Open and closed, we can do it. But we open up tickets if someone requests a computer, but we don't know where the funding's coming from yet. So now that ticket's open. So what we're doing is we're going to reclassify those tickets so we can get more granular and then be able to get those numbers narrowed down. Because I do want those to be accurate, and we should be able to get as much information out of that as we need. So for what I have displayed out here right now, the 44 tickets is for 30 days, and then anything that's 31 days all the way up to 60 days is in that 109, and then 61 days on actually I believe that 90-day one goes past 90 days, so the number's off a little bit.
How many of the ones that are past 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, how many of those are impacting our classrooms?
I don't have that information.
I'd really be interested in knowing what resources our teachers don't have available to them and they're waiting 2 and 3 months.
I will definitely look into that and see if there's any that directly impact the classroom. More than likely it's going to have some type of impact at the campus because we don't have that many support buildings that put in a lot of tickets. Most of our tickets do come from the campus at some level.
I would just hope that our teachers are somehow at a different priority because they really rely on technology.
And that's a good point. We do have several avenues for them to go through, like teacher forum. Ms. Gomez is in communication with them on the curriculum side, so we have escalated some of those situations for people that, hey, if I only had this, I could get this done today. So we do always have to reprioritize those tickets. I don't want to say high or critical, but if it's keeping that curriculum, piece from moving forward, we do try and expedite that. And some of these tickets here also include the computers we've been waiting on coming in through transit of the purchase process. So.
And my understanding is that we've gone to technology.
Right.
And many of our teachers don't have textbooks. So if they don't have access to the technology, aren't they kind of at a standstill?
They would be, yes.
Yeah.
That's
those
where
need to be prioritized somehow.
that's where I'd like to go back, I guess, and get some more information, and just see what that impact looks like at the classroom.
And are any of those delays pending funding of any kind?
Not that I'm aware of at this point. Now they may be trying to figure out which container it's coming out of, if you will, but there's nothing that's been put on hold at this point because the money's not available when it comes to technology. Not that I'm aware of.
And you would have delays because you can't figure out what line item or where to take it out of?
Well, no.
I'll give you an example, ma'am. Mr. Henge gave an example earlier. There are campuses that teachers that would ask for a new computer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That budget is not necessarily in Mr. Henge's budget. The principal may not necessarily have that budget, but when it's discussed, Ms. Yanakani Valdez, after reviewing the budget, would find favorability somewhere, and then we would pull from there because it wasn't planned for over the summer for whatever reason. It could also be a software issue where they want to buy a license. Again, Mr. Henge doesn't have that budgeted. The campus may not have budgeted for, but we find the money after we have that discussion.
I'm concerned about
And
the classroom and the teacher's needs.
And I'll have Mr. Henge review the technology work orders that are outstanding and see which ones have a direct impact in the classroom to make sure we prioritize that.
And then kind of along the same lines, maintenance, any safety issues. I would hope those would be prioritized as well.
Yes, we'll be looking into that. Today was really an eye-opener once we started seeing the categorizing of the tickets. So now we'll be going back through, and once we categorize, then we pull the reports, and then we'll be able to identify where those areas of concern are.
Thank you, Les.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
The Laughlin Elementary School that we're building, the construction projects that we've had in town, y'all can drive by and see them and get a bird's eye view of how they're going. But Laughlin is not immediately accessible to all of us. If any of y'all would like to visit Laughlin, especially now that the prefabricated classrooms are coming in, if you'll call Betty or Les, I'm sure that between Mr. Henge or his staff, we can arrange a quick site visit so that you can see the progress of it. I encourage y'all to do that, especially in the coming weeks as the project starts going faster.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
D, District Video Communications, Reno Luna.
Good evening, President Overfelt, Honorable Board, Dr. Rios. My name is Rene Luna. I'm the Director of Technology, Integration, and Communication Services. Tonight, I'm here to present Willard Jenkins. Willard came to us last year as a student worker. He's a 2017 Del Rio High School graduate, and currently he's an hourly worker for our department. He brings to us certifications in Adobe Certified Associate for Adobe Premiere Pro. He's a Microsoft Office specialist, and he has extensive experience in Adobe Photoshop, Adobe After Effects, and Adobe Final Cut Pro. And we have some examples of his work for you. The first video that we're going to show you is What Not to Bring to School. It's a very short video targeted at students to inform them what items not to bring to school. Although it's a sensitive subject, we thought that humor was a good way to approach them and keeping it short and simple. Enjoy.
Hi, my name's Madison,
And I'm Travis.
and we're here to talk about things that are not allowed in school.
Cool. Let's get started.
What's that?
Oh, I just keep a bag of things that are specifically not allowed to be taken to school.
Who does that?
What about this?
Actually, no. Water guns are not allowed.
What about a toy gun?
I think that's an obvious no.
What about a firecracker?
Really? Another obvious no.
All right. What about whenever you need to cut something? That's when this revolutionary object comes into play, the pocket knife.
No. These objects are not safe to have anywhere near an educational environment. If you need to cut something, just ask the teacher for scissors.
What about a plastic sword?
No, but where is all this stuff coming from?
A party popper thingy?
Nope.
A small lighter.
Small? Well, that seems to be it. Somehow, Travis's endless bag showed us what we shouldn't bring to school. Remember, if you see any of these items, report it to a teacher nearby.
And for more information, you can visit the link in the description below.
Thanks for watching. Despite us shedding some light on prohibited items, if you do decide to bring any of these items to school, it may result in serious consequences, such as suspension, in-school suspension, or even expulsion. For more information, you can visit the link provided in the description.
These videos are also located on our YouTube page, on our Facebook, and on rotation on Channel 39. The next video that we're going to show is a hand washing video, flu prevention, how to keep clean. Enjoy.
Around this time of year is when people start to get sick, which prevents you from doing the things that you like to do. Like homework. Yeah. Just kidding. But we want to help you stay sick-free and germ-free by helping you practice a few simple healthy habits. Always cover your mouth when you sneeze or cough. Germs spread way too far, even though you don't see it happening. Be sure to wash your hands by doing it the right way. First, wet your hands with running water. Then add soap and spread it all over your hands. Do this for at least 20 seconds. Next, be sure to rinse all the soap off. When you're finished, be sure to use a clean or disposable towel to dry your hands. If possible, use your elbow or towel to shut off the sink. If soap and water are not available, it is okay to use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol in it. Remember, germs can stay on places that can be touched, like computers, water fountains, and doorknobs. And teachers, it's important to have some sort of cleaning schedule in place to help prevent students from getting sick. Exactly. Be sure to only use products that are EPA approved. With all this in mind, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. And we hope you learned a few things about keeping yourself germ-free. For more information, you can visit the CDC website. That's www.cdc.gov. The link is in the description down below. Thanks for watching.
And once again, this is available on the SFDR YouTube. It's on our Facebook. It's on our channel. And I present to you the director and producer, Willard Jenkins.
Great job.
Questions?
Questions, comments?
Mr. Jenkins, those are impressive videos. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And
I appreciate it.
thanks for making it fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes,
we have a
appreciate
great team. It's three of us, but we have a great team. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. that ends reports. I've had a request from administration to bring 13A to the front right now due to the fact that I believe one of the individuals is traveling and we'd like to get him on his way. Yes. So 13A under business and finance, consideration to approve the comprehensive annual financial report. Is the board fine with bringing that forward? And then I promise we'll take a break. Yes? Good? Okay. Ms. Valdez?
Mr. Overfeld, board members, Dr. Rios, the 2016-2017 audit has been performed by Belt Harris Pahachek LLLP. Mr. Mike Brotherton is here to present the audit and answer questions. All of you should have received this package that was sent separately from the board packet.
Thanks for having me. I'd first like to thank Ms. Valdez, Ms. Rodriguez, and the rest of their staff for the hard work. By nature, us auditors are needy people, and audits are very time-consuming, so we appreciate all the extra hours they put in. We can go over some brief financial highlights, and then I'll answer any questions. You have the report in front of you if you turn to page 8. This is our opinion letter. This is where we state that we've issued a clean, unmodified opinion. That's the highest level of assurance that we as auditors can provide. The financial statements are free of any material misstatements. If you turn to page 23, this is going to be your balance sheet on the full accrual basis, same basis of accounting that for-profit companies use, but takes into account long-term items such as capital assets, long-term debt that you wouldn't see at the governmental fund level. Your total assets were $149 million, roughly $99 million of which are made up of capital assets. Your liabilities were $75.6 million, and that left you with an ending net position of $83 million, $61 million of which is made up of capital assets net of any related debt. You turn to the next page, page 24. This is your income statement. Once again, on the full accrual basis, takes into account items you don't typically see, pension expense, depreciation expense. At the bottom there, you'll see that the net change, or the change in net position, was a use of net position of $3.4 million. So that brought you from $86.9 million to $83.5 million. You turn to page 25. Now we're at the governmental fund level. This is what you budget on. This is what you're used to seeing reports on. The general fund had total assets of $46 million, total liabilities of roughly $8 million, and that left you with an ending fund balance of $34.2 million, about $28 million of which is unassigned. And when you evaluate the health of fund balance, the rule of thumb is that you want to see a 25% or 3 months reserve of operating expenditures. Currently, the district's at 37% for total fund balance and 30% for unassigned. So that's a good sign that it's a healthy fund balance. The far right column, this is the total of all your governmental funds. You had total assets of $51 million, liabilities of $10 million, and a total fund balance of about $36 million. Next, we'll look at the income statement for your governmental funds. It's on page 29. You had revenues of $84 million in your general fund, expenditures of $93 million, and that left you with a use of fund balance of $8.5 million. And then again, the far right column, total for all your governmental funds, you had an ending use of fund balance of just over $9 million. On page 33, this is going to be your balance sheet for your self-insurance fund. This is the last item I wanted to point out to you. Currently, after fiscal year 17, you're left with a deficit net position balance of $1.1 million. With the health of your general fund balance, this isn't a concern, but we do recommend that you look at the funding and contributions, potentially a contribution from the general fund to create a surplus in your self-insurance fund. And this fund, it's not on a cash basis. It's largely made up of an estimated liability there of about $1.5 million. So that's another thing to keep in mind. The rest of the report should look similar to last year. There were no new accounting pronouncements that came out that significantly impacted the report. It's all been updated with current year information. Happy to answer any questions at this time.
Any questions from anyone on the board? Yes, sir, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, I'm just curious, how did you come up with what is that, $87 million worth of building and land? How do you derive for that?
The department has a detail of all the capital assets.
Is that based off of the original cost? Or
Historical cost, yeah. Yeah, not present value or fair value. It's what you actually paid at the time.
Okay, got it.
And it's depreciated over the useful life.
Anyone else? Oh, no. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess the recommendation, please. Sorry.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the audit report for the 2016-2017 fiscal year as presented.
For the recommendation, is there a motion to accept?
So moved.
Mr. Chavita, seconded by Mr. Smith. Any other discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It is 8:36 p.m. That brings us into consent. However, I promised everyone a break. Is the board fine with taking a 10-minute recess and then coming back and knocking out consent and then continuing on? Yes? Motion for a 10-minute recess. There's a second. Mr. Mesa, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. We're in recess for the next 10 minutes.
Principals. Good night. Night, principals.
Reconvene after a short recess. Consent agenda. Are there any items any board member wishes to pull for questions or separate vote on consent agenda? I only have one question, which is F6, dealing with band uniforms.
Yes, sir. I can answer it.
Okay. I know we were emailed the information there, but since this comes in the middle of the year, did band just not look far enough out into the future for, I guess budgeting would be one question. It just kind of caught them off guard.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what happened.
Okay. And then,
I'm sorry, Mr. Overfeld. I do want to make one correction, though.
sure thing.
In the board update, I shared with the board that the money for the band uniforms that we were going to ask for a commitment from fund balance. That was the original intent when the uniforms were coming in very expensive. Since then, the uniform cost was significantly reduced. This money is coming from favorability in salaries. So we're approximately 300,000 favorable in salaries, so we're just going to make a budget amendment. There will be no need to touch fund balance.
So funding source, general fund band, it will not is that funding source there, so it won't come out of
Correct.
general, or
We're
what
making
do we
an,
call it?
right, making an amendment from salaries to band.
Okay. Any other questions on any other items?
Just a question.
Yes, sir.
On this Mo Ranch, we've been there before, GT?
Yes, sir. It's an annual event.
Any other items? Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed? Mr. Smith, seconded by Ms. Lozano. Any other discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. As is custom, the donations. Ms. Haynes?
Yes. The monetary donation, we have Canetta Family Practice, $50, Irene C. Cardwell Elementary. We have 19 donations from various donors to Del Rio High School organization, $4,750. 5 donations from various donors to Del Rio Fleming Calderon Elementary at $843.48. 2 donations from various donors to Lonnie Green Elementary at $1,294.65. We have the Spot and Pro Shop, $30 to Garfield Elementary. Del Rio Bank and Trust, $600 to Lamar Elementary. 5 donations from various donors to North Heights Elementary at $821.37. 2 donations from various donors to Reuben Chavita Elementary for $661.73. The non-monetary donations. Donations to Buena Vista for 2 computers and headphones in the estimated amount of $1,162.44. 5 donations to Irene C. Cardwell for jackets and shoes in the estimated amount of $2,856.25. 10 donations to Del Rio Middle School Special Ed self-contained classroom moms in the estimated amount of $440. Donation to Dr. Fenmin Calderon for supplies and incentives in the estimated amount of $549.93. Donation to Garfield Elementary for 60 bags of food in the estimated amount of $600. Donation to Reuben Chavita for supplies and incentives in the estimated amount of $250. Donation to North Heights for dental kits in the estimated amount of $330. Thank you for all your donations.
Thank you. Takes us to 10 administration. A, consideration to approve the order of election for the regular election to be held on May 5th, 2018. Ms. Valdez.
Good evening again. In your packet, you were provided with the order of election. The order of election establishes the procedures for filing and conducting the election for May 5th, 2018. The early voting by personal appearance will begin Monday, April 23rd, and will be held at the Del Rio Civic Center through the end of early voting on Tuesday, May 1st, 2018. Our district website has school board election information that is being updated on a regular basis. In the February meeting, we will then present the notice of election. The City of Del Rio will be presenting the joint election agreement at their next meeting this month.
Any questions? All very procedural. Recommendation?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the order of election for the regular election to be held on May 5th, 2018.
Heard the recommendation, I so move. Is there a second? Mr. Chavita, any other discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
B, consideration to approve the selection committee for naming schools, myself presenting, as is compliance with CW local and naming facilities, particularly with an elementary school. It reads the selection committee shall be comprised of at least 2 board members appointed by the board president, site administrator if identified, and 2 parents from the attendance zone involved there. Therefore, my recommendation to the board will be that the two parents from the attendance zone for Garfield is Miss Veronica Soto and Miss Lena Garza. The two board members are Amy Haynes and Roberto Chavita, and the principal, i.e. site administrator, will be Miss Denise Rubio. Does anyone have any questions before I make a recommendation on that? Again, this is for the committee to study any names that may have come in that the board or the school district has been advertising. And this would ultimately make the recommendation back to the board. No? Okay. It's the recommendation of the board president that in compliance with CW local and naming facilities, that the committee, selection committee for naming schools, be comprised of Veronica Soto and Lena Garza, parents within the attendance zone, board members Amy Haynes and Roberto Chavita, and principal site administrator Ms. Denise Rubio. Is there a recommendation, or excuse me, a motion to accept? Myself, is there a second? Ms. Lozano, any other discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. C, consideration to approve the first reading of TSB Update 109 affecting policies EHBAF local, EJ local, FEA local, FFA local, FFF local, FFI local, GBAA local, GKA local, GKC local, and GKE local. Presenting for administration will be Dr. Rios.
Mr. Overflow Board President, members of the board, Ms. Sandra Hernandez is taken ill, probably the first time that her and I have worked together, so I hope she's doing better. These policies in the first reading were reviewed by the Policy Review Committee. Before I read the recommendation, are there any questions about any specific policies?
Any questions in relation to any of the policies that are coming forward for the first reading? They will come back for a second in case questions do come up. No? Go ahead.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the first reading of TSB Update 109 affecting policies EHBAF local, EJ local, FEA local, FFAA local, FFF local, FFI local, GBAA local, GKA local, GKC local, and GKE local, which includes a recommendation to delete EJ local and approve the revisions to the language in the remaining policies as recommended by the SFDR CISD Board Policy Review Committee.
Further recommendation, I so move. Is there a second? Mr. Chavita. Any other discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Nothing under curriculum and instruction. 12, technology and operations. A, consideration to approve the commitment of fund balance and budget amendment to the general fund in the amount of $400,000 for replacement of Del High School boiler system and purchase order over $25,000 to Schneider Electric in the amount of $365,000. Mr. Henge and Mr. Alsop.
Good evening, President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, members of the board. This item here, it's simply that it deals with replacing the boiler system at the high school. We've been working on this for a few months. We've had several engineers involved looking at different options for the district. At one point, we even looked at just abandoning the boiler system and moving to electric, but financially that didn't seem like a feasible option, but nonetheless we wanted to look at several options. So this really deals with heat at the high school. This is the method that they use to get heat over there. We do have 2 boiler units in place. One was condemned well before I came to the district, and the other one did not pass inspection the last few months. So at this point, it's impacting heat at the high school as well as the hot water heaters for the showers down in the locker room.
Questions on this item? Mr. Smith?
No questions, just comments. Thank you for
Yes,
the
sir.
homework that y'all did tied to that project. I know I asked you to go do some things that probably were beyond the normal, but thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chavita?
Just a question on when will it be done and how long will it take to do it? The whole complete the job?
The time frame that we're looking at right now is going to be over summer. They'll have to bring cranes in to be able to remove the old equipment out, put the new in. We will have to go through an asbestos abatement. So tonight is just one process in a series of events that need to take place. But it would definitely be done over the summertime, just because of the dangers involved with this. Originally, the boiler system that's there that failed has been there since the building's been there. So a lot of walls and everything went up around this equipment. So they're going to have to be real intricate in how they remove the old and bring the new replacement models in. But they're going to be smaller and more efficient as well.
Well, thank you. My next question was going to be, what are they going to do? What does it entail? Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Okay. And of course, I guess this all falls under the agreement we made with Schneider as in relation to, or is this part of that, or this is just they're helping us out?
It was separate. They
Okay.
just turned in a bid, and it was the lowest bid. This is a separate
Okay.
project.
Okay.
Yes, we went through our normal procurement process on this. We also received a quote from Train as well.
I saw that. Okay. All right. Recommendation, sir?
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the modifications of the 2017-18 general fund balance commitments and budget amendment to function 81 for $400,000 for replacement of Del Rio High School boiler system and purchase order over $25,000 to Snyder Electric in the amount of $365,000.
Further recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Ms. Haynes, seconded by Mr. Chavita. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? 6 in favor, 1 opposed. Passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. 13B, consideration to approve the 2018-19 budget development calendar. Ms. Valdez.
Good evening again. In compliance with the Financial Accountability System Resource Guide, the budget calendar lists the critical dates for the preparation, submission, and review of the campus budgets for the school district. The budget development calendar will guide the 2018-2019 budget process. This budget calendar does have a change to prior year. We have changed the process to where we will create an opportunity for more engagement and feedback with the principals, where we will have discussions during the principals meeting on their budget priorities, staffing needs, student needs, and staffing formula recommendations. In the calendar, we also have, based on our prior year timelines, the workshop dates. The first workshop has always been held on the last Thursday in May. So at this time, it is based on this calendar, it is recommended for May 31st. Second workshop has also been on the last Thursday of the month of June. So the calendar shows June 28th. The third workshop we always had as an optional. However, at this time, we're recommending for the third workshop in July to be a health insurance workshop. And with those workshops, we would then lead up to the presenting a proposed budget on August 16th for a public hearing on August 23rd.
Questions, comments? Recommendation?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the budget development calendar to guide the fiscal year 2018-2019 budget process.
For the recommendation, I so move. Is there a second? Mr. Smith. Any other discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing under 14, nothing under 15. 16, closed session. If during the course of any duly posted meeting, the Board of Trustees determines that a closed or executive session is required regarding an item posted on the agenda, That session will be held on any and all subjects and purposes permitted by sections 551.071, 072, 073, 074, 076, 082, 084, and 087 of the Government Code, Texas Open Meetings Act. If a final vote is required on any matter considered in the closed or executive session, it shall be taken either upon the reconvening of the public session covered by this notice or at a subsequent duly posted public meeting as the board shall determine. Tonight, pursuant to 551.074, discussion of personnel or to hear complaints against personnel, and .071, private consultation with the board's attorney. 1, discussion of personnel report to include the following: new hires, district vacancies, retirements, resignations, reassignments. 2, discussion of salary adjustments to include but not limited to the following justifications: service credit and salary matrix adjustments. All votes will be taken in open session. It is 9:08 p.m. We are now in closed session. All right, it's 10:22, January 22nd, 2018. This board will reconvene into open session. No action was taken. And that brings us to 17A, consideration to approve the personnel report to include the following: new hires, district vacancies, retirements, and resignations. Ms. Garcia.
Yes, it is the recommendation of the administration to approve the following new hires: Iris Oka, counselor for Lonnie Green Elementary; Marlene Gomez, 5th grade teacher for Reuben Chavita; Jordan English, music teacher for Reuben Chavita Elementary; Dora Trevino, art teacher for Del Rio Middle School; Jose Guajardo, Spanish teacher for Del Rio Middle School; Danielle Treppingmeyer, science teacher for Del Rio Middle School; Antoniette Conrad, CTE teacher for Del Rio High School; Rocio Peña, academic achievement specialist; and Libana Millender, Laughlin principal.
For the recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Ms. Martinez-Lozano, seconded by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. B, consideration to approve salary adjustments to include the following justifications: service credit and salary matrix adjustments. Ms. Garcia.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the salary adjustments as discussed in closed session.
For the recommendation, I so move. Is there a second? Ms. Haynes. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. That brings us to 18, Superintendent's Report, Operations Workshop, February 26, 2018. Dr. Rios.
Mr. Overfeld, Board President, members of the board, we have the February meeting that is before February 26th, so we have plenty of time to discuss it, but at this time, administration will ask you to consider Monday, February 26, 2018 as a operations workshop to discuss various projects, and we will poll the board within the next 10 days just to make sure that most of us can be here on that day.
Okay, thank you. Before closing it out, I want to remind the board members that the TSB Grassroots Conference is coming up February 22nd in San Angelo at Region 15. Mr. Mesa, our TSB director for Region 15, will be presenting on that there. So if any board member wishes to go, please see Betty to arrange travel and take care of the paperwork. Being no further business before this board, is there a motion to adjourn? Mr. Mesa, seconded by Mr. Chavita. All in favor? Unanimous. Adjourned at 10:25 p.m. Thank you.